Hey, Juice Heads, how's it going? The date is Tuesday, January 5th. You know what that means? Nah, that was just a Brody Lee tribute thing. It's Tuesday. Fuck. I can't even keep track of the days anymore. Time is just going by fast. Happy 2021, folks. How are my Juice Heads out there? How you guys doing? Coming off a big top 20 of top 20 facts of 2020. Really fun show to do. And we're back. 2021, new fucking year. I know for a lot of people, it means something. To me, it's just changing the calendar. Hopefully, the government lightens up and sticks the dong a little further out of our asses, but we'll see what happens. Uh, I know a lot of people are optimistic, and there's nothing wrong with optimism, but I gotta say, I don't really expect much to change. Like I said, hopefully over the upcoming months, they lighten up on these restrictions, and the mask thing, that's not going to go away. I might as well wear a mask right fucking now on this stupid show. But hey, I'm here to stay. And programming note, NFL Boycott Club is coming back to you this Thursday, two nights from now, with a playoff special. And speaking of which, that's actually going to be the first thing we get into. And also the Rhubarb, the flagship show, your flagship show of the Juice Giorgio Network, will be back hopefully next week as well. And it's been fun. All these shows are a lot of fun to do. And I know my colleague for the NFL Boycott Club is excited to go back to the airwaves or whatever the fuck we're on, stream waves, whatever the hell they're called, digital waves, digital get down, if anybody knows that song. And let's get to it. So it's really hard for me not to shit on the NFL with our first trending topic here, the playoffs. It's a little outdated. I'm putting my mouse cursor over the fucking screen, like as if you guys could see it. You can't, but let's Groundhog Day this as best I can. The Giants were eliminated, where it says Washington Redskins or football team or whatever the hell you want to call that franchise. But yeah, pussification of America goes to the NFL. And I'm not talking about their end racism stuff. I'm not talking about the all-black referee crew, which is great. It's a great thing. It's just the timing is just very convenient. I just want the best people for the job, like I said. If they're all black, great. Even better. I really could care less about their skin color as long as they're qualified to do the fucking job. And I don't care if the referee's female because they make a big deal out of that. Female coaches. I think it's all great. I mean, females, women, girls, they're into football these days more so than ever. So if they're qualified to work for an NFL team, great, power to them. I just don't give a shit. I just want to watch the fucking game. Maybe gamble on it. Maybe gamble with more money than I have, like Artie Lang said once, and sit back with a fucking a 6-pack and a fucking 8-ball. He said, he goes, it's the most fun Sunday you'll ever have. But no, I say pussification because if you'll notice something peculiar about the playoff brackets, this is the NFC teams, or these are the NFC teams. There's an extra seed. So they made it easier this year in 2020 for the 2020 season to get into the playoffs. That's your AFC side. We'll go over the teams. We're going to go more in depth anyway 2 nights from now. But it's, I don't know, the playoffs to me, it's supposed to be a prestigious thing. So now 14 out of 32 teams get in. That's not quite half the teams, but you're creeping up to 50% of the teams. And if you can have an odd number of teams for each conference, you can certainly make it an even number of teams and throw in an 8 seed, give another team their bye week back. Because in order to do the 7 seeds, they had to take away the bye week from the number 2 seed, which I don't really know statistically how well the teams coming off the bye week even do in the divisional round. I know for the most part they don't do as well as they used to do, say in the 90s and before. But it's just gonna get watered down, you know. Like I'm all for 2 triple headers for Saturday and Sunday. It's gonna be a fun weekend, but again, to me, you water it down, you dilute it. It's bad enough that you have to get 1 team from every division. So it's bad enough you have an NFC East team that fucking made it this year, you know? So now just adding a team, I don't like it. It waters it down, and where does it stop, right? But I mean, there's some good matchups. I'm actually looking forward to the Seahawks taking on the Rams. Divisional matchup, obviously NFC West. Those teams usually play each other tough. The Saints and the Bears. I mean, the Bears were fucking pretty up and down this year and they're the 7th seed, right? They benched Trubisky, they put in Foles, then Foles fucking shit the bed, they put Trubisky back in, a couple other things in between, and whatever. It does make for a little bit of an interesting storyline. And on the AFC side, of course, KC got the bye when it looked like Pittsburgh was fucking running away with it. Pittsburgh, I think, made it to like 12-0, which is pretty crazy, even for a fucked up year. COVID fucked up Pittsburgh, I think, twice this year with the scheduling. But they're playing their division rivals, the Browns, one of them at least. So that should be a good game. All these games, honestly, should be good games. You would think on paper. The Titans and the Ravens, I believe, played last year in the playoffs. So that should be an interesting rematch. And the Bills, who would have thought starting this year they'd be the 2 seed? From the AFC. And again, the Colts got that 7th seed kind of sneaking in there with Phillip Rivers, but you never know. Good for Phillip. He's like the reverse Cromartie, because Cromartie's got like fucking 13 kids by like 7 baby mamas, and Rivers has like, I think, 11 kids by 1 wife. Good for him. All right. So that's our sports section for the day. We haven't talked about sports on the show in a long time, and I think the last sports story I talked about was the Dolphins, and they just barely missed the playoffs, but they got spanked on Sunday, bad, by Buffalo. And if for some reason Jacksonville beat the Colts on Sunday, which was never going to happen, the Dolphins would have had to go back to Buffalo 2 weeks in a row, and the Buffalo put up like 56 fucking points against them. Jeez, show some mercy, huh? Or not? It's football, so don't hold back. Speaking of not holding back, all right, so let's get into it. It is, like I said, Tuesday, January 5th. The big runoff is today. That determines basically if we're going to go communist or stay somewhat America, right? So the big story today from Georgia, or the big story I got today, aside from the election itself, I'm not going to go into what the numbers are I'm recording this at 10 to 6. It's useless. And I already hear there's all sorts of allegations of Dominion funny play and stuff that stinks already. So we'll see what happens. But what I got from Georgia, or what I learned today, is, did you know that in order to register to vote in Georgia, per their state constitution or whatever documentation it might be, you actually need to register to vote at your place of residence, at your address. Okay, I mean, I guess you register to vote wherever, on the internet or in person somewhere, but you need proof of residence to vote. So basically, there's a group of 4,000 voters that a couple of counties have been trying to purge from the voting rolls, and I don't even know what to say, because the left cries voter suppression. And I'm hearing a lot of these 4,000 people, they're either dead, they're felons, they're illegal aliens, or they're just made up people, I guess, or something, right? And who's the judge on the case? None other than Stacy Abrams' sister, appointed by President Barack Hussein Obama. Barack Hussein Milhouse Obama, right? You can't forget the Milhouse. So it's an interesting situation. And this is per Fox News. And again, to me, Fox News is dead to me. So I just needed I needed to look at an article to at least know a little context of the story. But her ruling came after 2 counties voted to remove a tranche. I don't even know what the fuck that is. A tranche of voters' names, probably the voter roll, from their rosters after 2 separate complaints from 2 separate counties, that is, alleged that publicly available voter registration data matched unverified change of address records by the U.S. Postal Service. So what that tells me is this judge just throughout this case, where they're trying to at least verify the voters live where they say they live. Otherwise, their votes, either A, shouldn't count, or the registration really shouldn't count. They should be registered wherever they live. It should disqualify them from being able to vote. And they've had more than enough time, if they're real people, which I'm sure some of them are, if they're real U.S. citizens that live in Georgia, I'm sure they've had more than enough time if they move to update their address or whatever. But the left is always going to cry voter suppression. And I do agree with voter suppression. I agree with voter suppression with, like I just said, for fucking illegal aliens, for felons, for people that want to vote more than once, you know, for underage people, for whatever. Because dead people, as long as there's been elections, there's always been cheating, you know. So whatever. And let's see, U.S. District's judge, that's Stacy Abrams' sister, ruling comes after 2 counties voted to remove a okay, well, I said that, or I guess I had the same note twice there. I probably meant, I had a note about that nut. I think Lynn, the Attorney General in Georgia was trying to have these 4,000 people purged as well, but I copied the same note twice by accident because I was just so excited. See that? I was just so excited to get back to my juice heads today. So, I mean, we'll see what happens in Georgia. This is by no means a live update of that situation, but it's a crucial runoff. And basically, whoever wins that is going to take control of the Senate, because the new Congress did start this week. And speaking of the new Congress starting this week, can I get an amen? Can I get a fucking amen? I'll tell you why. How do we do that? Amen. These fucking motherfuckers. Wasn't that a spin-off show from fucking Moving On Up? The fuck, with Sherman Hemsley? Didn't he do a show called Amen? It was either a spin-off or just a fucking, I don't know, a sequel or just another way to use the star power to make some money. But regardless of my man Sherman, this is just more 1984 bullcrap. Because now in the House of Representatives, it's a rule you can't say amen. I think you can't say anything man, woman, brother, sister, father, mother. It's got to be parents, grandparents, siblings, I guess women instead of amen. And again, for those of you not familiar with the book 1984, you might want to read it. And or listen to the audio version. That one's fine too. And for those of you not familiar with the definition of political correctness, we've talked about this before. It's changing people's behavior through language, right? So you're changing language to change people's behavior. And it works. Just look at the world we live in. Look at the pussified world we live in compared to 10, 15, 20 years ago. It's like a different world. And by the way, amen actually means so be it. And I watch lefties. I watch their YouTube content because I like a lot of them. I put my politics aside. I like a lot of content on YouTube. I don't care who they vote for, honestly. Everyone's got a right to whatever their opinion is. But even he's fucking, one of these guys I'm watching, I won't drop his name, but even he's had enough because the word fucking translates to so be it. You really can't make this up. But let's see what we got for our next trending topic here. Speaking of 1984, Digital Health Pass brought to you by the brainchild of one of the brainchildren of the World Economic Forum. We bring to you, or they bring to us, CovidPass. This is an application on your phone, uses blockchain technology to store encrypted data from individual blood tests, allowing users to prove that they have tested negative for COVID-19. And on the surface, I gotta say, this isn't the dumbest fucking idea in the world, but where does it end? Where does it end? I think most people at this point, with a little common sense, would agree that COVID's been nothing but a bad flu. I think all of China's practically opened back up to pre-COVID status, last time I checked. And in New York City, we have de Blasio and his wife dancing in the middle of an empty Times Square on New Year's Eve night. It's just, what a fucking arrogant fucking prick. I don't even think the liberals like that fucking guy. I don't understand who votes for him and keeps putting him in. But the creator of this app, which is launching in September and will become a standardized solution for airlines, airports, and border agencies, and eliminate quarantine. Well, you fucking wrote this wrong. That's what I get for copying and pasting and not reading it until I go on the fucking air. But it says it will eliminate quarantine for healthy travelers, which, again, I think is a good thing. And CovidPass could also allow hotels, cinemas, theaters, sporting and concert venues to reopen safely. So I'm all for things reopening safely. I'm all for common sense ways of doing it. And I'm not necessarily against something like CovidPass, but the problem is, where does it stop? What are they doing with their data, right? And at what point are they going to say, in order to enter this airplane, in order to enter this theater, in order to enter this sports stadium, this app needs to show us that you took the vaccine? That's where we're going to run into some fucking problems. And so everything starts out as a good idea. Like, take Easy Pass, right? Easy Pass, especially here in New Jersey, land of the fucking tolls, right? So yeah, get fucking Easy Pass. Get fucking Easy Pass. Next thing you know, say you're getting a bad divorce or something, they could pull that up. Say you're fucking banging some fucking gumad, right, on the side, and she lives off exit 151. I don't know why I picked that exit, but let's just say your gumad lives off 151. Now they're tracking every fucking time you went through your gumads, unless you're taking the back roads, weaving in and out of fucking Bloomfield Ave, and unless you're that savvy. But like I said, it all starts off as a good thing out of convenience, and then before you know it, they're tracking you. They got all your data, and Lord knows what the fuck they're doing with it. And we know what big tech or the big tech sites are doing with it, like Google and Facebook. They're fucking profiting from it, and all you're getting to do is to use their platform. What a shame. And last trending topic. If you're not familiar with this fine-looking old gentleman, that is Senator Chuck Grassley, who allegedly will preside over the congressional vote counting tomorrow. He put something out on Twitter. It's somewhat of a rumor. I don't know if it's confirmed, but they're saying Pence may show up. He may not show up, because Pence, as the president of the Senate, because he's the vice president, is in charge of these vote countings going on tomorrow on the 6th of January. So it should be an interesting day. Probably be an interesting day to do a live stream off the top of my head. But we'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes. And we'll see if this country goes into a fucking civil war or not tomorrow. So that's all I got for my juice sets today out there on episode 13 of What's Trending, lucky number 13. And shout out to Lucky 13 Saloon in Brooklyn. Hope they're doing all right. It's a hell of a fucking place to go watch a live metal music show and see some nice tail. All right, juice heads. Well, you guys take care. Like I said, we'll be back in 2 nights with a more in-depth preview of what they're calling the Super Wildcard Weekend for the NFL. Hopefully, we'll be back next week with Rhubarb. And don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to keep posting videos. We're going to keep doing what's trendings and have a grand old time here on the Juice Giorgio Network. Take care, juice heads. Stay safe.